Welcome to Life Gun Cigar. So the other day I did a video on taking down your Ruger Mark III. That's this. And also I think it's good to know also how to disassemble the magazine. But I didn't want too long of a video for somebody to have to go through. So we're going to deal just with the magazine today. All right. And trust me, it's very, very simple. The only tool you're going to need is a pin punch. In this case, 1/16, or about 1.5 millimeters, or anything metal and hard. So you can use your paper clip that you use to take down the rest of the firearm and use just the one edge, the one point. Doesn't really matter what you use. I prefer the pin punch. It's just easier. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your pin punch. Let me zoom in. You're going to take your pin punch, and the spring and the locking mechanism is held in by this part right here, the base plate. So, I don't know if you can see that part move or not. Okay, that's what holds it in. So, you're going to push down and then push forward on the magazine base plate. Okay, you can take your pin punch out. Be careful, the spring's under tension, of course. And you're going to take the base pad off. Remember to keep your thumb over the rear of the magazine. So we're going to take the base plate and put that aside. Now we have the spring, and for lack of a term, the rear follower right here. That little piece of metal. And just hold on to that tightly because it's under pressure. I'm going to slowly let that come out. Okay. So the spring's pretty long. Obviously it has to be. And you can pull that out now. So now that we have the base plate off and the what I call the rear follower out, we can then take out the thumb release, or what you use to actually control the follower when you're reloading it. So pull it down until it gets into that little groove here, that round notch. And while it's in that area, you can then pull that out. Okay? So that's what you're going to have. Zoom back in. And now you can pull the follower, the true follower, out of the magazine. So now we have, zoom back out. Now we have the follower, the spring, the rear follower, for lack of a better term, the magazine, the thumb stud, or whatever you want to call that, and the magazine base plate. Now you can take all these parts apart, the spring and the followers. They come apart very, very simply. They're just held onto the spring, and you can pull them right off. And now you have it completely apart. Now you can get into the magazine and clean it. And trust me, 22 long rifle rounds are dirty. You will have dirt in there. You're going to see a lot of brass filings probably in here, especially if it's been a while since you've cleaned it, or if you've never cleaned it. And you're going to have brass filings all over the follower and such. So you're going to clean that all out. Reassembly, exactly reversed. Simple. Put the spring back on that rear follower. Back on the upper follower. It just snaps on. Okay. You're going to put that into the magazine. Again, make sure you're oriented in the right area so it's angled in that way. So make sure it goes in that way. Go in just a hair while it's in that notch area there. You zoom in. You're going to put the thumb stud in, And you're probably wondering what's going to hold that in. Well, the thumb stud, I don't know if you can see, has 2 grooves in it, and so it runs in this channel here, and that's what holds itself in by that friction. So you can then, that's all together, put the spring in, and the follower, and the rear follower, and then the most difficult part of the whole thing is just getting the spring back, which is not that difficult. Okay, so push it all in. I know it's hard to see right there, but trust me, it's kind of a pain to do, especially on camera. And while holding this in and under pressure, take the magazine base plate. Okay, and you're going to get that metal piece right here in that metal notch. Okay, so put that over it, go rearward, and when you get to this point here, you're just going to push the base plate on to the rear of the magazine until it snaps. And now it's held itself on and together by that piece of metal through the base plate. So now your magazine can be cleaned, and after you clean it, it will be as good as new, if not better. Okay, so that's how you take apart a Ruger Mark III or 2245. I think also uses the same magazines. That's how you take apart a magazine for a Ruger Mark III. Thanks again for watching.